I just cooked up a fire interview with New Orleans Saints tight end Juwan Johnson. Liam's filming. He's moving to Nashville. I'm in a beanie and sweatshirt. Get your merch, but it's also like 80 degrees out here. Just moved a couple of couches. Welcome, Liam. Liam's in Nashville. A couple housekeeping notes before we get into the episode. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, rate, review, link in description. We're trying to get to 700 subscribers and then 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. 20 more till 700 on YouTube. Subscribe if you're watching this. If you're new to the channel, we're the Man to Man Boys. Welcome in, baby. We do our thing. Couple of other housekeeping notes. Get your merch. It's getting a little colder out. Here we go. I'm rocking the navy blue. Here's the white one right here with the logo in the front. Click the link in the description. Go get your merch. Use code MIXFREE at the checkout. That's MIXFREE to receive free shipping. And this is a banger interview. Juwan Johnson, I think I'm a fan now, even though I'm a Titans fan. They got us in week 1. Let's get into it. He's talking about what's going on in the NFL 2023 script. I don't know. Let's get into it. UFC superstar Jorge Gamebred Masvidal, dude. What's going on, baby?
What's up, everybody?
Alrighty, what up, everybody? Welcome into Man to Man Podcast. Today we're switching things up and talking man to woman. Please welcome on the show singer-songwriter, social media star Lauren Gray. We know you like the DJ.
I am okay.
$1.99 for a banana bag, bro.
I know you're. Hey, what are you doing, bro? You're in a pink room right now, bro.
I'm in my wife's room. She got the best room in the house, the best lighting. So I'm like, let me just chill up in here.
I hear you.
Bro.
All right, cool. Here's the intro. Here we go. All righty, we're talking man to man with the New Jersey boy who had an illustrious.
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
Yeah.
An illustrious career.
Jersey, the house, bro.
And I tell you, had an illustrious career at Penn State, right next door. Oregon that last year. Now plays tight end. We'll talk about it because you were a wide receiver your entire life, it feels like. Now playing tight end for the New Orleans Saints. Please welcome in the resilient and fan favorite, Juwan Johnson. Dude, what's going on, man?
What's happening? Appreciate you having me on, bro.
I appreciate you coming on, dude. Again, we were just talking about this beforehand. Your team's playing right now. Thanks for coming on a on a big day for you guys. Obviously, top 10 teams. We're talking Ohio State, Penn State. Give me the prediction. We're in the first quarter right now. What you thinking, dude?
Prediction, but it always comes down to the wire. It always is. Like Penn State, Ohio State is always a good game. Honestly, I'm tired of Penn State losing to them, and I think it's about time to change the narrative. We need to start winning against these guys in these close games.
Well, it's all defense is what I'm hearing, dude. I don't know. It sounds like I don't know much about. Is it all defense or is it like Keandre Smith getting in the mix and they also got like a freshman quarterback, right, at Penn State, also in Ohio State too, right?
Yeah, I think it's more so of obviously it's simple, but it's not easy. You just gotta score more points than them. Because it's always like a shootout. I mean, it's always a shootout. Like when I was last there, like the score was like 39-28. 39-38, and then the other one was another 1-point game. So it's like we lost these guys twice in like a 1-point game difference. So it's like, got to finish game.
I feel like, I'm watching. I got a bunch of friends who are Ohio State fans here in Nashville, and I'm like, yo, dude, can I come over and watch the game? They're like, nah, I don't think you can, man. We're like, it's our family over here. It's like, bro, is it that serious? I guess it is that serious.
Man, I don't like the freaking Ohio State. I don't like those Ohio State people, man. You got Mike T over here. You got Chris Olave over here. You got Pete Warner over here. I'm like, there's so many Ohio State guys, and I'm the only Penn State guy in the locker room. It's tough.
See,
it's
now
tough,
they're shooting you a text this morning, like, all right, big game.
You, it's tough, man. It's tough for us, man. I'm telling you.
Would you say this is the best Penn State team since y'all's 2016 squad? McSorley, Saquon, Chris Gotti.
Yeah, I would say so. This is a good team. And honestly, I think this has been one of the best Penn State defenses I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
Just looking at it, those guys are energetic. Those guys are playing. They got rotation going on. Just looking at those guys, they put a lot of energy. I don't know that 11 kid, but he's a baller. You got ballers over there. So you got guys on the edge who can really get out of the quarterback. I just seen they had a little corner blitz or whatever. They just got a sack just like 20 minutes ago. So I mean, they mixing it up. I think Manny Diaz over there is really doing this thing. So I'm excited for those boys. They got to pull it out because honestly, if they win this game, they have a good shot to
Bro,
make it to the championship. Yeah,
lots going on. I was just telling you again, I'm a Tennessee guy. Do we got a quick prediction on the Bama Tennessee game?
man. I'm not gonna
AK shooting you
lie.
a text or no, dude?
Nah, he's not. He definitely not. The thing is, I like what was the kid's name? Joe Milton. That's his name.
Joe
The
Milton.
Milton quarterback kid. I like him. I like him. I think he has a lot of ability. I don't know how they are on the outside, but Bama's Bama, bro. I'm sorry to tell you, just Bama is just always Bama, and so they just always find a way to win. I don't know. They just always find a way to win.
And T-Town too. I think I was listening to sports radio talk last night in the car, and Nick Saban's going on a press conference or whatever it was. And he was like, "Hey, we need the fans to show up." And like that's the first time he's ever said that.
That's the first time he's ever said that.
All right, so like he's taking us for real. But
Bro,
all right, dude, let's get into it a little bit. We're gonna talk some ball. We're gonna talk some life again. We're super easy, dude. Just try to figure this thing out and figure out who JPJ is. You ever go by Perry, dude? JPJ, what's the nickname over there, dude?
Honestly, that's probably the first time I've heard that. And that's so crazy. That's probably the first time I heard that. But now they usually call me Jew. In college, they used to call me Juju. But honestly, everywhere is just universal. Everybody just call me Jew.
All right. Well, we're going to go by Jew. Obviously, dude, you've had a killer career the past 4 seasons. I'm just going to plug in my little guy right here. Give me 1 second, Jew.
Yeah.
Killer career. I mean, last year, bro, I mean, it was insane. You balled out. Just got some stats right here. First in touchdown passes, second in receiving yards, third in receptions, doing your thing. Sleeper on fantasy. You probably don't like that talk, but yes, you are. You've been killing it. Obviously, played first 3 games. I'm curious as to what just kind of happened in the pregame warm up with the calf injury and kind of how that recovery process is going, brother.
Oh, definitely, man. It's crazy. It's kind of been a thing that's been lingering for a while, honestly, since week 1. And I don't think many people know, but I actually had like a little tweak, like the first game of the year. And that was in pregame. I don't know what I'm doing in my pregame stuff, but clearly it's not the right thing that I'm doing.
So what were you doing?
Right.
What did your pregame like ritual?
Honestly, it's just like I'm just trying to get right at the end of the day. Like I'm just trying to get warm, get the body going. Truly just, I tweaked it a little bit during pregame of and warm-ups in the first game. And I'm like, bro, like this is the first game. Like I'm not trying to do anything, going on, you know what I'm saying? And so obviously like any other player, I'm gonna work through it because I can work through anything. Like I've dealt with, grade 2 hamstrings and still play grade 2 quad. I've done all of that last year. Like I played with several strains last year, and so this is no different. So I'm like, all right, like I'm good. So through the game's fine, and it's kind of just like lingering throughout like pretty much the whole year. And so I just think it was just kind of about that time where it's just like, all right, Drew, like it's done for me. And so it just kind of sparked up on me during pregame of Tampa. Was feeling good, and honestly, right before we were about to head out to like actually play the game, like it just completely just gave out on me. Like when I had my pads on and everything, like we're about to run out. It was just so crazy and honestly so wild. But truly, like it's been like a blessing in disguise for me because I feel like I've learned a lot through these now 20 days of getting back, and I believe I'll be coming back this week. So we'll see how it goes.
I was gonna say you guys are on a bye week, coming back gonna come back and see the Colts or no, dude?
Definitely. So no, it'll definitely be good. I think it's very optimistic that I'll be heading into that week being ready to go. Progression in my treatment's been going well. So I'm really excited, man. I can't miss any more games. I mean, it's tough to look and watch and knowing that you can be out there helping your team and you could be having fun with those guys. It's not fun sitting back and watching.
Yeah, well then that's easy transition. Thursday night, tough game. Guys had a killer comeback, dude. I don't know if you saw. You're on social media all on Friday, praised as this hero teammate. Your boy drops the ball, same position, drops the ball. I know that New Orleans fan base is very, very passionate.
Definitely.
What were you saying in that guy's ear, man?
Definitely. I just think like I was just reminding him that that the thing is like one, we should have never been in that position. That's one thing. It never comes down to one play. But at the end of the day, you are bigger than that moment. You're bigger than just a football player. and don't think like this is your reality or this is your identity. Because a lot of times we'll try to place this football thing into our identity. Just like me or just like this is what you do. This is not who you are. And so a lot of times, like we'll just get caught up in that. And he has a lady friend. So girl, like bro, you got a lady. So you got to be there for her. You're a son. You're a brother. Like you're a friend. And that's first and foremost. Like I'm a friend before a teammate. And so I was just telling him and try to encourage him in that because I promise you, there's a million people that live in China and nobody see that. What you just drive? Ain't nobody see that. At the end of the day, not everybody care. So at the end of the day, it's just like there's so many people who hasn't seen that, and you're perfectly fine. You're still alive. You're still breathing. And I feel like AK said, like you're a blessing already. Like living that, like you beat cancer. So like whatever you just dropped, like it's way bigger than that.
I didn't know that he beat cancer.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right.
And so,
New Orleans Saints fans, just chill out a little bit,
Right. Right. And I think like people lose sight of like who we actually are. Like we are outside the helmet. We make mistakes. We drop passes. And obviously he didn't want to drop. He didn't intentionally say, hey, I'm about to drop this pass.
Yeah.
To tie the game. Obviously we're pros. We make mistakes. And just like everybody in their workplace, we make mistakes and we try to limit those things. And the next time it happens, we're going to need him later on in the season, and he's going to make another big play. So
LSU guy too,
BR guy, Baton Rouge guy too. So he's going to be good, man. I know it's tough, but he's going to be fine.
Hate to ask, but you think you would have caught that dude or no?
Oh my god! Yeah, man. The thing is, it's like I said, it's tough, man. Like I just wanted to be there for him, and it wasn't even about being seen or whatever. Cause I knew that was probably going to come just because it's a devastating moment. And I think the biggest thing was just being there for him aside from the cameras or whatever the case may be. Because at the end of the day, something could have happened for him in a breakup or for him in a situation where he had lost somebody. I still would have to be there. Cameras wouldn't be there. Like I said, I'm a friend instead of a teammate first.
You're going to kill me, Jew. I got to take 1 second and charge my computer. I'm on 3%.
No, you good. You good.
So I kind of just curious about, a New Jersey boy. How'd you grow up, man? What was life like growing up? I know you got a couple of older brothers, man, but like when did you start to get into football? Were there other sports involved? Talk to me about life growing up, brother.
Yeah. I mean, life was great. Obviously Jersey's probably one of the best states in the country, especially if you want to just chill, relax. You got the beach. It's going to be 30 minutes away. You got cold. You want to be cold, you be somewhere else. But everywhere you go, like, it's just always a great vibe. You can go to New York. That's probably like an hour and a half away from me. You got Philly, that's 20 minutes away from me. So, I mean, you get the best of both worlds. So grew up mom and dad, two brothers. Two brothers is 15 and 9 years older than me. So I was pretty much the baby. When they left the house, I was like 9 years old. So I was pretty much already grown by the time, all my friends had their little siblings around. So, everything was good. My brothers went to Rutgers, so I always went to Rutgers games and stuff like that. It was always a good time going up to New Brunswick, chilling. New York is right there. He had guys like, Ray Rice, Taekwon Underwood, Mike Peel, the McCourty brothers. They had so many guys, man. And obviously Greg Schiano, who's now back with Rutgers, just had so many guys. Ironically enough, one of my coaches actually coached my brother. One of my coaches right now that's with the Saints, special team coach, Darren Rizzi. So it's just so crazy to be like, dang, like you've been coaching all this while you coach my brother and me. It's just kind of crazy. You remember me when I was 9 years old. It's so wild.
Yeah.
But, it was great growing up. Obviously having a professional athlete as my brother. Got to see the ins and outs. Got to see how things operated before I was even there. So never taking business personal. Just kind of it's always just business. So never taking anything personal. But had a supportive family. Mom and dad were always great, and that was pretty much life for me.
Yeah, your little brother, dude. I'm an only child, so I don't have an older brother or little brother. But I've got all my friends who are little brothers, and just getting beat up here and there. So I'm sure it was the same situation for you.
It was WWE in that crib, bro. It was WWE putting me through tables, slamming me on the bed. Like they thought they was the Dudley brothers 3D in me, like on the table. It's just crazy.
Bro, just teaming up on you. I feel like that's not fair. Come on now.
They were teaming up on me, like double choke slamming me. I'm like, this is out of this world. But I think that's how I got tough, to be honest with you. That's how I feel like I got tough. I was just a little brother, little dummy that they just slammed all the time.
Yeah. So were you playing high school ball then? Were you playing just football and that's like just what you grew up on since your brothers played football?
Yeah, I pretty much did a lot. My first love was track. I love track. My dad was a track athlete. And so, ironically, a story was I actually quit football twice before I actually stuck with it. So, I don't know why. I think I started when I was 5 because my dad was the president of our league. And so, I was 5 and I was like, Dad, I ain't doing this. Like, first of all, they got me on the line and I ain't doing that. Like, I am not a lineman. Faster than all these kids, you got me on lineman. So I quit. And then the next year I came back out. And they put me at tight end. I was like, all right, it's cool. Like, you got me at tight end, but I still ain't getting the ball. Like, you still got me blocking. Like, when you're a kid, like, you're a tight end, you're still not doing nothing.
I don't play football. I played 1 year, 5th grade. I grew up playing basketball. Tight end at like 80 pounds, 5th grade. Got a tight end around, touchdown. Best feeling of my entire life, bro.
Bro, okay. Showing that speed.
I know. You tried to, bro. I know. But I wasn't catching the ball. They just handed it off. So I'm sure we're kind of talking about the same thing.
You were young. There wasn't nobody throwing the ball.
Yeah.
There was no such thing as a spread offense. We went power I. That's what it was back then. Power I. Wing T.
Yeah.
But nothing like that.
And
but
then
man, I mean,
go ahead.
And then I was like, my dad was like, look, just go out there. We put you at running back. I'll talk to him and then we'll see what happens. Man, they put me at running back. I scored the first touch I had and they looked back since. So, yeah, man, they realized where the speed was. And then from then, honestly, I just kind of just loved playing football. And so I played basketball. I played baseball for 2 years, which was pretty trash at baseball. I was weak at baseball. I was striking out a lot. Like it was like a free strike zone for me. Like I was pretty nice in outfield, but I was so weak at the plate, bro. But anyway, but yeah, football was just kind of my thing. Basketball a little bit, and track always with me. I always loved track.
That's interesting. Yeah, I feel like in high school too. Even I went to, I don't know, Lipscomb University. I went to the high school here in Nashville and just watching those guys play on Friday night. I'm like, wait, I thought he was wide receiver last week. Now he's playing tight end. Like, it sounds like they just move everybody around in like high school games.
You can try to do it just so you go.
How far did you guys go? Were you guys good? Were you him in high school? Like, what was going on there, dude?
I definitely was. We had a guy on our team who was, honestly, we had a pretty, like, our team, our high school was pretty notable for bringing out some guys. Came from a small high school, only had like 100 in our graduating class.
Oh, wow.
But man, we had a guy named Corey Clement, who's now with Arizona Cardinals. He's actually a Super Bowl champs for the Eagles. He was our running back. And so he was dominating rushing. And I was dominating on the outside. And so, man, it was tough to stop us. I mean, we won 2. So in Jersey, you do sectionals. We don't do state.
Oh, okay.
Now they do.
Gotcha. I was going to ask if you guys won a state championship or anything like that.
You could call it state if you want to, but yeah, we had 2 sectional championships, and we had a blast, man. We had a good old time, and that was a fun time playing with them.
Do you win rings on a sectional? Is that like the same thing too?
Definitely win rings.
Okay.
We wouldn't be doing this if we don't win no ring.
I know. I was gonna say. Okay, so when did you start to feel like you were gaining traction? I'm catching footballs left and right. Is it junior year, senior year, and then how many schools are you looking at?
Yeah. So honestly, I found out when I was a sophomore. So my coach, who was a really good friend of mine, he didn't tell me anything until the end of my sophomore year. So I'm about to go into states for track and field, and I'm like, dang, like I don't know if any college is looking at me. I have no idea. Like all I do, this when Twitter was just like really starting to get popping for a lot of us. And then Twitter was kind of like, but in 2013, that's when I was like, yo, get a Twitter. Like this is the new thing. So I'm like, I get a Twitter. People start mentioning some stuff. I'm like, so that's when I'm thinking like, all right, they're interested in me. So I never talked to them anything like that until the end of my sophomore year. I started getting these letters, And my coach shows me, he's like, yeah, here are your letters. And I'm like, bro, like this says March and it is June. Like why you give me these a long time ago?
Yeah.
And then so yeah, like I think my sophomore year is where I really started to gain some traction. And I know we blew up. We had a great time. I was going to camps, rival camps, Nike camps, stuff like that. So it was that's when I really started to take off. I started to know that, man, I could do something with this football stuff.
Yeah, you got the huddle video
Got the huddle video.
Yeah. That's funny.
And the music to the huddle stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so go to Penn State, balled out there. Why Penn State? I know it's kind of close to home. Was that the reason? You tell me.
Truly. So when I was first getting recruited by Penn State, Bill O'Brien was there. And love Bill O'Brien to death, but I was like, man, like y'all too old school for me. Like I can't be here. So then he left, and I think he may have went to the Texans at the time, I think. And so that's when James Franklin came. They had a great vibe about them. I was like, all right, they're young, they're innovative. I like what they're doing. I'm trying to rebuild the program. I'm trying to be able to rebuild. And Penn State was close to home. We had one of the top recruiting classes at the time. So I'm like, man, I might as well ride this wave. And so 3 hours away, went there, great time. I just thought it would be really good for me to be there in a rebuild where I think they really needed it the most. And plus the education was obviously great as well. You can hold that paper and go anywhere with it and say I went to Penn State and they would know. So I think that's I liked about it.
You guys took James Franklin from us. Grew up a big Vandy fan, brother. So
right.
I appreciate that. Couldn't get into Vandy. Kind of like a Penn State. Couldn't get into Vandy, so I had to go to the state school at UT. But I was also looking at like New Jersey schools. I was like, where could he have gone? Like I was like Princeton. No, there aren't really that many like good.
It's honestly Rutgers.
Yeah,
Rutgers was kind of. But I wasn't going there. My brother went there. I was like, I'm cool with Rutgers.
Okay, so you go in as a wide receiver in college. Again, we just talked about you're playing with guys like Saquon, McSorley. I mean, you had that whole 3 years that you were there.
We had some dogs. We had some guys.
I was looking at I believe the Rose Bowl game. Tough L right there, but we'll get into it at Oregon because I'm going to bring you your flowers again after this. What was it just like playing with Saquon and Chris Gotti and those guys in that locker room?
Yeah, man. Boy, we had some guys, man. Obviously, we had guys like Amani, Grant Haley, what's he called? Wasn't there at the time. Michael wasn't there at the time. We had Saquon, Mike Gesicki, Trace McSorley, Miles Sanders, Chris Godwin. Like it was so many guys that we had, man. It was just, and really, I wasn't even coming into my own at the time. I was just kind of like a role guy at the time, special teams guy. So, honestly, I was behind Chris and learning from Chris. That was the best thing for my career. Truly, like he was just such a smart, intelligent guy. Really was just down to be a student of the game. New coverages. I'm like, damn, I don't know nothing about coverage. I don't know nothing. I'm coming from high school where it was just like, are we man to man? Throw this thing up. Like, I'm over here to take the quarterback. Like, give me one of those. But, honestly, learning from him, it was really good. Like, it was really good to learn from him and know because he was catching everything. Like, you put in his vicinity, like catching it.
Did you have any inspirations from guys that were in the league already, or maybe just freshly outside the league?
Definitely. I think the obvious answer for me would be, Calvin Johnson. I think, him being double teamed is probably the greatest accomplishment or the greatest respect you could pay a receiver or even a pass catcher is to have someone literally double, like as if you're a gunner on special teams. That is like the greatest compliment you give anybody. But wanting to strive towards that sort of respect is kind of the thing that I'm trying to do. And him being fast, him being versatile, just an all-around athlete was kind of like the thing that impressed me.
You guys kind of had similar games too.
Yeah, I agree. I just wasn't as fast, but him going up and getting it, that's something that I like about his game that I try to emulate in my game or try to put in my game.
All right, they're calling him Megatron Jr. That's what I was trying to get at, my guy. Quick question here on Penn State. We'll switch over to Oregon here in a second. Saquon just real quick, another Saquon question. Working out leg day with him in the workout facility, dude. What's that look like?
Yeah, man. I tell you what, I am not doing leg day with him. But that man, I seen him do that power clean that's been going viral for so many years.
Yeah,
and I was like, I don't. Me going into I don't know how he's gonna do this. But he was by far the most athletic, God gifted ability person I've ever seen in all of my life. I mean, he could run, he could jump, he could stop on a dime. One of the games that always sticks in my mind is how he had a back injury going through the whole week. He didn't practice the whole week. It was against Nebraska in 2017. And I'm like, man, I don't know if this guy Saquon's gonna play. He couldn't even walk, really. And I'm at wide receiver, and it's a rain game, so obviously in Penn State it's kind of slick turf. And so yeah, I'm going out on a block, whatever. I'm blocking. This guy gets a handoff and takes it like 60 yards, and he ran like nothing was wrong with his back. And I'm like, bro, this is out of this world. Like you couldn't even walk going into the day. And here you are scoring a 60-yard touchdown like down the sideline, and it was incredible to see him play at Penn State.
Damn. And they paid that man for 1 year, but pay that man. Come on.
Hey, any money is good money. I'll tell you that.
Hey, I hear you, brother. All right. Well, 30-second player, just a couple stats here. 32nd player in Penn State history to pass 1,000 yards receiving mark, ranked 22nd at PSU in career receiving yards with over 1,000. I mean, you balled out. And then your senior year, you're going to Oregon, bro, across the country. Yeah. What's the decision behind doing that?
Yeah. I always get that question a lot. And I honestly think me mentally, I think the year before I wasn't in a place where I could be there anymore. And so the year before I had a really down year. It was frustrating for me, injuries. Me and my wife, my now wife, who was my girlfriend, and we broke up. She moved back to California, and I was just like, man, I'm just in a really dark place. And so me mentally, I think a refresh or restart was something that was much needed for me. And I know it wasn't me because this is not something I initially wanted to do. This was definitely God just saying I have something in store for you, and I don't know if it's here. Because I've done what all I need to do. And so, Oregon reached out to me during the portal process. And obviously I knew Cristobal from him recruiting me at Alabama when I was in high school. And I was like, I think I know this guy. We follow each other on Facebook. So I said, I think I know him.
Yeah.
And so we got talking, and I was like, I remember his face clear as day. And so, that's what kind of got me rolling with wanting to transfer.
Yeah, also trying to get a little bit closer to California over there, dude.
No lie.
Yeah, I see what you're doing. Was there any pressure though was there any bad blood at Penn State with Franklin or anything like that? Was it just like kind of smooth sailing? And then was there any pressure to kind of jump into an Oregon ball club with Herbert and all those boys?
Definitely not smooth at all. Definitely not smooth. When I initially brought up the conversation to the Penn State staff, James, Franklin, I think it didn't go over as well as I thought it would be, just because I was stepping more into more of a leadership role, and I was leaving, but I didn't think it was anything that they had done. It was nothing that they had done because it was never really about them. It was more so about me and one, my mental health, but two, just on what I wanted to do for my career. And so, it definitely, I was in that meeting with him and the strength coach at the time for about 2.5 hours. And they were just trying to pick my brain on just why. And I was telling them why, because honestly, at some point I was thinking about not playing anymore just because of just the way of how I was just in such a place where I was like, man, I don't know. Because obviously you read social media stuff and this is where I was talking to more so alluding back to Foster, this. It's so much bigger than just this sport. And so if this game today was just all right, we're just going to wipe football, what are you going to be? And
Mhm.
so that's what I really wanted to, get into. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm good. I don't necessarily have to, be here. And so, yeah, talking to the wide receiver coach there got fired. And now I'm talking to a new wide receivers coach at Penn State. Talking to him and he's asked me why I'm leaving and stuff. So it was about, a 3-week process, before I initially made my decision, which was already made that
Mhm.
I'm just done.
And they just told, and then Oregon just says, "Hey, come on in, dude. We're gonna throw you the rock. Here we go. All right,
But there was a lot of schools, hitting me up.
Okay.
I didn't know. I was like, hey, like y'all just see my year last year, y'all want me in. Yeah, Oregon was one of the first schools that hit me up. One of the very first ones amongst a couple others, but Oregon was the
Yeah.
first to hit me up. I was like, dang, like me going away to Oregon, like that's a far away. Like I don't know. First of all, I don't know anybody there. I don't know
Yeah.
nobody, there, not a single player. But yeah, I went out there for a visit. It was great. Met Justin Herbert. He's probably one of the first guys that I met, and we talked. I had no idea who he was. They were just like, yeah, we have this quarterback who's going to be, a top pick, and I was like, all right, like let's see, because I wanted to see some film and stuff like that. I'm like, oh yeah, this guy is a dog. I was
Yeah.
like, okay. So I got a guy who can throw me the rock, and it was just ideal for me to be over there.
Would you say that would be the biggest difference then from those two schools just being so far away?
Uh, yeah, me that being so far away, and me not knowing a single person. Like
Yeah.
I knew absolutely nobody, and I think that was kind of the refresh that I needed because initially I wouldn't have gone to a place where I didn't know anybody. I just knew that was God telling me, look, I'm
Yeah.
chasing you over here, and I want to see how you're going to respond and what you're going to do with being over here. And
Yeah.
for the most part, I handled it well.
Well, I was gonna say talk about a little refresh along with a little sprinkle of a Rose Bowl win, and you catch the last get what the first down pass or whatever, and you guys win the game. So
Definitely. That was crazy for me because I think
yeah.
obviously being at the Rose Bowl before, 2 years, was it 2 years, 3 years prior, and then going back, I'm like, all right, like we back in the Rose Bowl. I already been here before,
Yeah.
and so, knowing what happened last time I was there, and then going to me catching the game winning first down to seal the game in my last career game, collegiate game.
Mhm.
Uh, that right there was just like everything for me. Knowing what I've been a year, where I was at a year ago. Not even mentioning that my father had passed that same year where I had a bad year. It was just like it was a lot for me. And so I think, looking back, I was like, dang, so this is why you placed me here. Cause I know it wasn't just for me to be placed there, it was for me to help other people at Oregon. And so yeah, it was good. I didn't understand it then, but at that moment, like I knew why I was there.
Dude, that's a good little baby Lord shining in on you, bro. Come on, my
Wow,
brother.
man. Telling
That's
you.
cool. Are you getting text back from the ex saying, "Hey, well, I'm not far away,"
Well,
just like caught the ball.
what was crazy was that I was definitely reaching out to her.
Yeah.
So we had started to, talk when I was, in the portal and stuff like that. And so
Mhm.
it made the relationship a lot easier when I was out in Oregon. You
Yeah,
know,
we know you were, dude. We know
yeah.
you were.
And obviously, obviously it was just kind of like a sidebar on why I
Mhm.
wouldn't say it was totally why I was there, but it definitely made things easier. Being there with her. She was my rock at Oregon, man. I didn't know anybody there, but definitely her being there where I was didn't know many people. She was the funny thing is she was driving Uber at the time, and she would save up as much money just for that week so she can get a flight out there every week, and it was just like
Look
kind of
at you, bro.
yeah. So that's definitely a reason why she's my wife now because she just would do she would kill for me. So I think that was just great.
That's beautiful, man. I'm just trying to get a text back at this point, my brother. You know. Uh, before we go into, I want to talk a little bit about the combine. Before we go out of college, I mean,
Yeah.
we're in college, dude. Any crazy parties you went to after a football game? What's going on? You got one story you can tell me?
Oh, college. Oh man, nothing really going on at Oregon, but Penn State was pretty wild, man. I
Yeah.
mean, Penn State was just like a place where you just people just really got after it after the game, man. Especially if it was a 12 o'clock game. Like people would just be drinking all day. Like this is just like people wouldn't even miss a day long. People would do day longs or day drink, wherever you want to call it, wherever state you want or whatever college you at.
Yeah.
People would get after it. People were rushing out of that locker room. They'd be like, all right, we're going here right after. I'm like, bro, you ain't even showered yet. You still got face paint on. You still got face paint on. Talk about you trying to go out and drink.
Yeah.
But man, it was a scene, man. But I think that was one of the better times I had. Going out with my teammates,
Yeah.
having a good time with them after a win, a big time win, especially after that Ohio State win that we had in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Yeah.
hopefully they beat them right now. But yeah, it was a great time. Like the whole town was just going crazy, bro. But I think that was one of the best times, just like after the game, chilling with your friends,
Yeah.
drink with them, having a good time.
Yeah, just a vibe. We were number one in basketball. When was that? 2016, 2017. But we would see the basketball guys like pull up to the bars like on the strip that night. And like, yo, sick game, dude. Like, it's dope,
Right, right. And to know that like those guys are just so personable, it's kind of like the best thing about it. Like,
yeah.
ain't nothing better than that.
Let's get into the combine. Interesting story, and I'm just curious, man. But 2020, COVID hits, and I was kind of looking it up last night, and I'm like, so did they have the draft combine? It looks like they went virtual, and then the NFL draft was virtual.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it. So there's a deep receiving core that year as well.
Yeah.
Why do you think that you didn't get drafted? Because you were definitely good enough to get drafted.
Honestly, man, I'm not even gonna lie to you. To me, I like to tell people like I don't think my college career was as great as some other guys. Like honestly, like when I was running my 40, I had Jerry Judy ahead of me, and I had CD Lamb behind me, and then you got Juwan Johnson in between both of them. And I'm like, bruh, you about to see a fast guy ahead of you, a slow guy, and then another fast guy. And I'm like, ah. So honestly, it definitely wasn't pressure. It was just like, man, like this is so interesting to know that we have such a deep wide receiver draft class. Obviously, Justin Jefferson in that mix. Man, it was a great group. But I think honestly, I think it was the best thing for me that I wasn't drafted. It created a hunger in me that I always had all my life. But it just created something much more because that's something that I carry every day. I mean, when I go to work, I'm just like, man, like I know 32 teams pass up on me. And honestly, the Saints just fell upon on me. Like they just happened to get me. It's not like, oh yeah, we want this guy in, the seventh round. No, they picked me up when I was undrafted. So essentially they passed up on me, a couple times. So honestly, just knowing that it's more about me and my diligence in working. That's kind of the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know why they didn't draft me, but I'm glad they didn't because it's created something in me that I can't get out.
It almost reminds me of the Austin Reeves situation in LA. Like he wasn't drafted, but his agent was talking to the Lakers. I guess he was talking to the Pistons at first, but he was like, no, we're going to put you in a good spot here. When did you get drafted by the Saints? Was it on draft night? Was it the next week after?
No, so after the draft, they'll usually have conversations, and usually the conversations happen pretty much with all the teams. A little bit, doing like heading at the end of the draft. Like we're thinking about picking them up, on UDFA, so undrafted free agent. So talking to a couple teams, that's what their thoughts are. They just give me their thoughts or whatever. So. I'm like, look, my brother's with the Saints. And so one of his last years, he was with the Saints in 2017. And so I'm talking to him. He's like, look, if you go there, you're going to be in good hands. And I know that for a fact. And so he was probably one of the biggest people that I knew at the Saints, who was there at the Saints, who really got me there. I smiled because one of my old coaches was at Penn State. He was an assistant special teams coach at the Saints. So it's just some familiarity there. So I'm like, I'm thinking about it and I like it. The Ravens were also talking. The Titans were also talking. And I was just like, do I really want to block for Derrick Henry 40 times a game? I don't want to catch the ball from Drew Brees. So it was like, it just made sense to me. So yeah, that's the direction I headed.
And then take me through the transition from being a wide receiver your entire career to becoming a tight end for the Saints?
Yeah. Man, going into the draft, I was hearing a lot of me moving to tight end just because I was 230. Honestly, I wasn't that slow. I ran a 4.58. Honestly, in training, I ran 4.4s in training, and then I freaking choked when I got to the combine. But
So 4.7.
yeah, oh, shoot, heck no, heck no. If I ran 4.7, boy, I don't know where I'd be right now. But but no, yeah, man. I always wanted to be a tight end because I feel like that'd be a mismatch for me. Um, Especially coming down to New Orleans, I was gonna eat no matter what. So I was either gonna gain this weight, they was either gonna have me as a big receiver, or they was gonna have to move to tight end.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously the first year I go through as a receiver, they're always talking about my weight, and I'm like, look, I'm gonna eat, and I can't stop, bro, because there's so much food here. And so, yeah, man, like the off season after my first year, they was like, look, Juwan, we're gonna move you to tight end, and we're just gonna have to see what you do.
Did you have a problem eating so much?
Definitely,
Yeah.
it's definitely a problem where my wife is a pretty good cook and she cooks a lot, and so I was eating her food.
Yeah.
We had stuff all around town. We was in a spot that's called Mid City in New Orleans, and I was eating everything, bro. Like I was eating burgers,
Yeah.
barbecue, Cajun. You name it, bro. I was eating it all, and I was like, bro, like it's good food. It's good food everywhere. I can't stop.
Yeah. Were you reaching out? Like, what's the biggest difference? I'm curious from like a play calling standpoint as a wide receiver to a tight end, and then follow-up question. No, actually, can you just answer that first? And I got a very specific question after that.
I tell you what, at receiver, you really ain't got to know nothing. I'm gonna be so honest with you.
Okay.
You ain't got to know nothing.
You already know what I'm going to ask after this.
Especially if it's a run. Like if it's a run, like you just running off somebody, or you just they would say most dangerous man. That's all you're doing in a run game. But as a tight end, you really have to hear the whole play call. Like you need to know the kill, you need to know the alert, you got to know what technique you got to get this guy. If the tackle's uncovered, you got to go to this guy. And for me, at the start of my career at tight end, nobody told me anything about technique. I didn't know what a 9 tech was. 6. I'm like, bro, I don't know what you talking about. So for the longest time, my coach was talking about all these techniques and fronts, and I was like, bro, I don't know that. Like, I have no idea what that is because I didn't even know that. I don't even know if this guy is in cover 2 or if this guy's in cover 3. Like that was it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just it's a totally different world as a tight end than as it is as a receiver.
You already know what my follow-up question was going to be. The play calling sounds so ridiculous to a casual fan. Are you listening to one part of the play, or as a tight end, it sounds like you're listening to the entire play?
Well, the thing is that's easy for us is that we have personnel groupings. So when you go through the whole sheet, that week, it's easy to weed out what you need to know and what you do need to know, just based off your personnel.
Uh-huh.
And so, if there's like 12 tight ends with an occasional tag, like, so say if it's like, Juwan, 12 personnel. So 2 tight ends are out there. I usually know what the play is based on the situation, based if it's third down or if we're in the red zone. I know it's coming. So you'll say like a few words and I'll be like, all right, I know what it is.
Yeah.
And like, sometimes it's just like the longest play and you really got to be locked into what's going on because there's motions, there's shifts. And on top of that, you got to know who you're blocking. So it's just like, it's a lot, man. And it sounds like gibberish because I'll tell my wife sometimes, I'll tell her to play. She's like, what does that mean? I'm like, you don't even want to know.
Can you give us an example of a play that might not be in the playbook right now?
So it could be like trips right, X skip. It'll be like it'll be like an X pin, Z dagger, Y shim, and it'd be like somebody on like a late leak with a kill to a run.
Yeah, go long, dude.
And a kill is a whole different play. And that's the thing about it. Like a kill is just like sometimes you need a kill to a run or a pass, and it's a whole nother play.
Is that the alternate play? Is that like hey, they got a cover two. Let's change it up to this next play that I just said in the huddle. Is that what you're talking about?
Definitely. So when we
Oh
killing
man.
something, we get to killing it because of, how many men. If we got a four man set out here and we got outnumbered on the left side, shoot, we're gonna run to the right side. And if that's the case, if we got too high and we want these guys to be in single high, we just checking the play. So it's a lot. I mean, it's more taxing on the quarterback than us because it's like, all right, like let the quarterback do all that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot, man.
Well, it sounds like you figured out the technique, dude.
Oh,
You
definitely.
signed it. Congrats on the contract extension, dog. Okay. Uh,
Definitely.
I gotta ask you, man, because it's in the headlines. As casual fans, we're all seeing it on TV. Another tied into the news with T Swift. You got any
Yeah.
thoughts or just opinions on this, dude? What's going on there?
I really like it, and if some people just say this is like either a publicity stunt, whatever the case may be. I necessarily I don't care. I'm just all for love. Like, I talked to Travis a little bit, at the TED interview thing. He seems like a pretty great guy to me. Taylor Swift seems like a lovely lady, especially her just
Yeah.
doing her thing going everywhere. I really hope this thing works out, just truly because I just love love, but also just like. I like seeing, I guess you would call it power couples being together and, in the entertainment business. And I honestly think for me, more for him, I think he's gonna blow up even more. Him being with T Swift, his opportunity is gonna just increase exponentially, especially with him being with T Swift. And even for her, shoot, I think some people you talk about just travel, but even for her, she even in that football space, that's gonna be good for her.
I feel like all Swifties are watching football
Bruh,
now.
bruh.
Um, yeah, and they're just all over. And Travis Kelsey is all on all these commercials now that we're watching. So it's like,
He's on everything now, right? Right.
right.
So
Uh,
him already being a Super Bowl champ, it kind of already puts
yeah.
him in the spotlight, but it just heightens what he got going on.
So I'm just trying to understand, dude, who put who on the map?
I mean, it depends what map we talk about. Because if we talk about a map that's overseas, obviously, clearly, it's evident that Taylor put him on the map. But if we're talking about, just here in the United States, I mean, people love football here. So Travis, I'm on your side, bro. I'm on your side, man. But I will say, if we talking about a global standpoint, Taylor clearly put him on the map.
Okay. There's the answer right there. Couple questions here inside the locker room, and then we'll kind of go into some social media stuff and get you on out of here. I know you want to watch the game and everything. Thanks, Jew on the pod, JPJ. Alvin Kamara, how is he in the locker room?
Yeah,
How is he in the locker room?
yeah. Honestly, Alvin's great, man. I think Alvin is a really good guy, especially him being as I think he's a really popular guy. I mean, he can walk down the street. I think when he was in his rookie year or first 3 years, after a game, he'd walk home, downtown, but he lived downtown for the time being. I'm like, bro, you being who you are cannot walk from the game to your home and knowing that people going to stop you, take pictures and all that.
Uh,
And I just think honestly, it would probably be too much for him to keep doing that now. And obviously, I think he lives somewhere else now. But he's such an impressionable guy, man. I think he's a really good guy, really down to earth. When he talks, you definitely listen. He's not a guy that's always going to be rah rah, but definitely when he talks, people listen. So really great leader, really great guy. I just hope he's a Saint for life.
yeah, glad to have him back on the field too. And then who's playing the Aux before the games? And then what is your playlist? Put me on to something, dude.
Man. So truly, who's in the Aux? Honestly, Tyron's been on the Aux. Tyron's been on the Aux. He been playing some little boozy every game. He
Yes,
playing
sir,
Lil Boozy
baby.
every game. And I think that's more Louisiana thing. I don't listen to Lil Boozy. I don't know Lil Boozy song. I don't know nothing. I just know his voice.
Yeah,
So when they put him on, I'm just like, all right, they got this Lil Boozy playing.
yeah.
But for me, it just depends for me. Like, I'm a Christian rap kind of guy. I like listening to R&B. I like listening to worship music, but for the most part, I'm really not listening to music. The
No.
thing is just like, man, I'm about to get pumped up for this game, and I'm about to lose all that juice by the time kickoff start.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I try to be more logical about it. Like I think in the moment you're just like, all right, like okay, but then when that kickoff happened, you ain't got no more music. like
I know.
I said, shoot, I might as well get ready to not listen to music. So shoot,
I had a weird thought the other day, and I was like, does the NFL get is the hype before NFL games a lot more than just the first down of the play? Because it's always
right,
like a run play or something. I'm like, all right, well now I'm
right,
not. I'm just sitting on my
right,
couch now. I'm just watching. All right, cool.
right. I think, man, I'm just trying to like, if I got the juice already, should I might as well just bring it throughout the day without music. So I might as well just keep it like that. Because the thing is like, people gonna listen to that music, and then when that music cut off, they just change. It's just
Yeah,
like you can't be like that. You need to always be like that. You know what I'm saying?
bro, they're falling asleep with the AirPods and listen to Boosie
Yeah,
Badness.
no.
Uh,
Right.
couple more here. What does the NFL 2023 season script say? We got to know, dude.
Man. I hope they don't change it, but it do say the Saints gonna be in Vegas in February. That's what I've seen, but
Yeah,
I could be reading the wrong script, but the script that I read, the one that they gave me not too long ago, that's what it
yeah,
said.
yeah, yeah. I love it. And then Usher at halftime, dude. All right, cool. Let's get into some social media stuff because I don't know, dude. You're TikTok famous with you and your wife. You guys got 3 million followers. Juwan Chan. Is that the channel?
Yeah, yeah, that's
All
a
right. When did you
channel.
guys start social media and why do you like doing this?
Man, we started this during COVID, much like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Started this during COVID. We didn't know what we were doing. We're in a Vanner Sports agency, and so talking to Gary, he was like, "Look, bruh, I think you should do this because it's gonna be the next big thing." We talking about TikTok, and I think, oh, like, man, I don't know what TikTok is. Last time I seen TikToks in 2019, I think I seen an NFL team put some up, and I'm like, this is whack. Like everybody dancing, I ain't with that dancing stuff. I ain't with that at all. But I seen some content that was not so much dancing, more so just like lifestyle videos, whatever the case may be. And I was like, you know what, let's try to do this. So me and the wife, we made a couple of videos. They're not doing so hot. And I'm just like, all right, let me throw some working content, see if that gets some traction. I put up, I think the first thing that blew up was having a girlfriend, the person having a girlfriend during season. And that thing blew up, and from there, we've been just jet streaming, man. We've been going, and so we love it. It creates a lot of opportunity for us. She's took over it. I'm just kind of the man in the background, and honestly, it's just been taking off, man.
I love it. I just watched your Vegas vlog. You guys got married in
Oh,
Vegas. Congrats.
oh man,
Congrats.
oh, appreciate that. And that was
King,
a long time ago. Ooh,
was it? Okay. Well, okay. Yeah. You got married, what, 2020?
2020,
Okay.
2020. So that was like our first YouTube video. That was.
Okay.
Yeah, we had canes for our dinner.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean that was a meal for champions back then.
I used to work for a social media agency here in Nashville not too long ago, and we did Raising Cane's at social media.
Ah,
Yeah, it's
come
pretty.
on,
They're
Kane.
killing it right now,
Come
dude. They're killing
on.
it. Yeah, no, it's just cool to see, man. And then I just saw another video of you during media day. I guess it was this year. So
Yeah.
my question was like, are you doing it to kind of get your name out even more, or do you just kind of just like doing it with your wife and it's just something you do?
Honestly, I like creating content. I'm not as engulfed in it during season just because it's season. But I love creating content. I love editing. I just love like having the camera on and just record, man.
Yeah.
That's just something that I've been like I've loved to do that since I was in college. I've been doing that. One of my majors was before econ. Like I could not pass econ for the life of me.
Couldn't either.
Um, I was in public relations, so I was always recording, doing stuff. So like
Graduated in PR.
yeah, like journalism stuff. But I just thought it was great, and so I was always working with the camera. So I've been doing that for a long
Love it.
time.
And then one of the last questions here on social media, because you guys have been so public about it. It's
Yeah.
something that I've learned, and you're a
Yeah.
truly like inspiration to a lot of us, dude. Can you just kind of talk about the recent struggles that you and your wife have had? And then my question was, how have you been able to stay so mentally strong in both
Yeah.
your personal and professional career?
Definitely, definitely. It definitely wasn't easy. Yeah, it definitely was not easy. I think knowing that there's a purpose and a reason why things happen. We didn't see it then, but we definitely see it now because I think we love our little girl more than anything in the world, and I think we wouldn't have had that same love that we have now if we didn't have the two miscarriages before. And obviously, there's no those two babies are still at heart with us, and we solely believe that we'll see them when we get to heaven. And I think that us just having that in the back of our minds, I think we just find great joy and great peace in that. I think we went through that knowing that we have a social media presence to help other people, and so and honestly, we notice that more people have that than not. Because people don't talk about their miscarriages and stuff like that. But I think it's crucial that we share that because people think that they're alone, and mentally that hurts people. And so us just knowing that we went through it, we can talk and relate to people.
Mm-hmm. Well, congrats on the newborn. Blessing as the middle name, by the way. Yeah, fresh, dude. Yeah, fresh, dude. Well, congrats on that. All right, last two here. Anything we should be looking out for from you, brother?
Yeah, obviously, me and the wife, we just recently, I think we're trying to put legs and wheels on it. But obviously, women like NFL players and just pro athletes in general. But we would love to help people out and setting them up, matchmaking them. So, with the support of people, whoever's listening, just keep encouraging us in that because we want to definitely make that and put fruition into that and make that a real thing. So we're just coming up with ideas, really trying to dive deep into that and see if we can really do that thing.
Well, let them know, dude. I'm single. I'm looking for a New Orleans Saints cheerleader. So,
come on, okay.
Yeah, I'll come to the game. Say, yo, JPJ, it's Twas, dude. I'm here, bro.
I'm sure they would love to have you.
I love that. All right, JPJ, we ask this at the end of all of our interviews episodes, man. Thanks for popping on with us. Man to man, what is the key to success?
The key to success. I think the key to success is to truly be yourself authentically, and not being deterred by other people's opinions because they'll have them. But definitely just stay on the path that is set before you. Keep doing what you're doing, be consistent, and everybody gonna say something. Just have them keep talking. If they're not saying nothing, you doing something wrong.
Right.
So keep having something to talk about.
And that's a good Lord talking, baby. Let's go, Juwan Johnson. Let's go, baby. Wishing you speedy recovery, dude. Look forward to watching you out on the field against the Colts. Anybody in our Titans division, please beat them.
Right.
And then, yeah, we'll be watching you on the field and look forward to whatever else you got going on, brother. Appreciate you coming on, dog.
Appreciate you, man. You take care of yourself, doggy.
You too, man. Appreciate you.
No doubt.